What was your revenue last year?
4.5.
And the year before that?
3.2.
Okay. You're growing really fast.
This year, I'm hopeful we'll end between 8 and 10.
8 and 10 million?
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap, dude.
33 people signed up. I'm like, who are these? And so we started doing a little advertising. By the end of the year, we had a few thousand people signed up. We're sending about 130,000 letters a month.
I'm just doing the math right here. If you have 110,000 letters a month going out, and on average, a little over 6 unique pieces per letter, that's over 8 million unique pieces a year that you guys have to batch together and send out. That's nuts. I'm super excited. Michael Clark, theflowerletters.com. For those of you, go look at the episode that Chris and I did. We did a whole Co-Bros episode. I'll link to the show notes, but we talked about this business that was sending letters in the mail based on like World War II love letters, and they've like broken it out now. What a cool business model. And then you commented on YouTube and you're like, hey, that's me. This is my business.
I was excited that someone like found our business randomly and started talking about it. I was like, hey, this is cool. But like when you were doing the analysis, I was like, this is pretty good analysis. Like pretty good. Oh yeah, that number's almost right.
That's what we do. Like we find interesting things and we're like, okay, what are the data points of what could we estimate this business actually does? So to do a better job of breaking it down, theflowerletters.com and your guys' business model is you mail out 2 a month to subscribers. What started as World War II love letters, and you charge a subscription fee. Again, I'm going to say the things that I did. I've done research now. I know that it's wrong.
You're right. You're right.
$10 a month, 30,000+ subscribers. You do all the fulfillment in-house. You do all the handwriting. And so as I was like doing the back of the envelope, that's where we got that number from. What did we get right and what did we get wrong?
Cool. Yeah. I mean, a lot of it was right. Most of the numbers were under. And so except for your net, the net one is a little bit interesting. The cost structure on this business is bonkers. And that's probably one of the biggest challenges that we face. But you're exactly right. We tell stories through letters sent through the mail. You get 2 letters a month for a year, and it's a story. So like when people say, hey, what do you do? Because I was like in FinTech and technology before, like, this is totally crazy, you know, what we're doing. I usually say it's something you've never heard of, but your mother is going to love. And so people are like, are you insulting me? Like, no.
What'd you say about my mom?
I just said, no. But that's our target audience, are, you know, women aged 35 plus. But to kind of back up just a little bit, our origin, my wife is an artist. She's a super talented, just the most talented person I've ever known. Sings, does everything. She's an artist. She's a writer. And April 2020, I was doing some consulting at the healthcare financial services in the HSA space. And I was also working on a FinTech startup centered around real-time payments. So my world is like tech, but I love stories. And I'm passionate about business and entrepreneurship. We were thinking about how to build her email list. We're on a walk. She's like, what if I someone signs up for my email list and I mail them a letter? And I said, the idea came like all at once, honestly. And I said, what if you wrote a story and sent them a story? And that's where the idea was born. And immediately I saw World War II.
This was you?
Yeah, this is me.
Okay. I mean, it makes sense. Like mid-30s male, you're either the Roman Empire or World War II.
I immediately saw the emotion of what was going on. Because in the world, you know, April 2020, people are lonely. They're isolated. And I'm like, what if someone could have something to look forward to a couple times a month? You know, and it's a story they can enjoy, something light, something fun. You know, I knew the first story needed to be World War II. So we started writing. She says she thought it was a terrible idea because she's a writer. And she's like, how am I going to write a story that is compacted and contained in 24 letters? Anyway, so we started writing. We kicked off, you know, we built the business model, you know, decided it's subscription-based, you know, month to month. And we launched in August with 33 people signed up. And one thing I always tell people starting a business is don't tell your mom, because she'll buy 100 of them. She'll buy 100 of them.
And then you won't actually know what demand is.
Yeah. It's like, you know, people starting these businesses like, yeah, we're going to have a launch. We're going to have my family come. I'm like, nothing like a false positive to kick off your business. Yeah. So anyway, we decided we're not going to tell anybody. We just kind of put it out there. Social media did some crazy things. You can look at our Instagram or like leave rocks around. And 33 people signed up. I'm like, who are these people? I don't know them. You know, I don't know who these people are. I'm like, maybe there's something here. And so we started doing a little advertising, which is something that I think in your analysis was missed. We advertise heavily. That's been the key. And we can talk a little bit about that. We did a little ads, tried to like just dabble in ads. And by the end of the year, we had a few thousand people signed up. And, over Christmas and, fast forward, we're now in August 2025. We're sending about 130,000 letters a month. And
Jeez.
we're growing.
That's incredible.
We've got 5 stories. We're launching a new story. We think it'll be released early October, pre-order. It's hard to when you sent me your, I was kind of doing like a reminiscent, looking back and, how did we get here? And there's a lot of ups and downs, tell you what.
I think the first time I bought a business, I look back on that now and I'm like, I personally guaranteed my house? Oh my gosh. What am I doing? Could have bankrupt my whole family. You're doing 110,000 letters a month.
About thereabouts. So we send 2 letters a month. So we're about, between 50 and 60,000, I think, current subscribers.
Well, that was going to be my question is like the research that I did said 31,000 subscribers, but you have some subscribers who have multiple subscriptions because you have multiple stories. Is it about 50,000 subscribers?
Yeah, I heard it look now. It's between 50 and 60 right now. My operations guy could be watching this like, you're way off, man.
Samsonite, that was way off.
It's remarkable. It's an incredible response. But there was a key when we first started this of like why we're doing this crazy business. I never really anticipated the impact that it would have on people. I think my wife saw it. I think she saw the impact it would have. But just a couple months in, we started getting handwritten letters, emails, direct messages of people saying thank you for doing this. People who are terminally ill contacting us saying thank you. This gave me something to look forward to, gave me hope. Someone who had a chronic illness, she's like, I put it on my nightstand and every day I look up to it and I say, there's another letter coming. I see these things and I'm like, what did we create? Like, what is this? And like, at that point, it was about January. And I said, we got to go all in on this. And the growth was tremendous, but there was more of a purpose behind it. We decided to configure a certain way, which was for a long game, because we could have configured it as a lifestyle business. And I think, your listeners and the difference between a lifestyle business and like, this is what I'm doing. This is like all I do. There's the passive stuff, or there's really no such thing as passive, but like things that don't take all your time and you can set it up and it runs and either the income comes, or am I going to put my heart, soul, mind, everything I have into this business? And this is what I do. That's what we decided. We decided to do that.
So August, you have the numbers I had was 38, but let's call it mid 30s subscribers. By the end of the year, from the research I have, it's like 5,000. So like at that point, 5,000, and let's just say at $10 a month, $120. So 5,000 people, $120 yearly revenue. You've got a business doing approximately $600,000. Let's just call it.
Sure. Yep.
It's not a massive business, but to go from August to by the end of the year, you've got a business that's got recurring revenue. And you know this, you're in tech, man. Recurring revenue, $600,000 for the year must have been a moment where you were like, not only is this a thing, but I'm also passionate about it. Let's go. Like it was probably an easy decision. Am I wrong?
Well, I was in the middle of a startup.
Oh, you were?
I was. Yeah, we were getting things off the ground with a real-time payments company. It was going pretty good. I mean, we had to pivot a lot during COVID. It's still going, but it was hard to say, okay, I'm going to transition now.
Okay. So what happened to the payments company? So you launched this payments company. Did you raise?
No.
Okay. So you launch it, you bootstrap it, you're in the middle of it. Did you have partners or was it just you?
I had one partner. We raised a little seed fund.
Okay.
No, like significant. And when I had thoughts on that, I tell you what.
Well, what did your partner say when you were like, hey man, I know we got this payment company, but I'm going all in on letters?
He understood. I mean, he's a really good guy, good business partner, just taught me a lot. And he's still going with it. I think it's still, trying to get some traction there, but it's still moving as far as I know.
Okay. So in August, when you were like, let's try this, because it sounds like August is when you launched. How much of it was this is a test, and how much of it was like, no, we're going to go hard at this to see? Does that make sense? Like, was it let's kind of just test this idea on the side, or was it more deliberate than that?
It was, hey, this is a cool idea. This is something we really want to do. We have one story. We can get people to sign up. Maybe we'll have a couple hundred people sign up, and we'll send letters, twice a month. Be pretty simple. That's sort of where I was.
Interesting.
Because I was still working. I was consulting. I was also doing the startup, and I had a lot of different things going on. And so a bulk of the start was, on my wife for the writing, the creative process, and the ordering of all the inventory and stuff like that. She did most of that. I built the website. I built, everything, got everything ready from a technical standpoint, payments, and we put it out there. And I wasn't like doubtful. I'm like, this would be cool. Even if we had like, 80, 100 people sign up.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be super fun. It just started taking off.
How did it blow up? Did you guys run paid ads? Was it all organic?
Paid ads.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. Where?
Yeah, absolutely. Meta. At the time, Facebook. We started to dabble. I'm like, we kind of went in and started figuring that whole thing out.
Did you have experience with Facebook ads at the time?
No.
No.
Not at all. But I worked with a guy, or that guy's a kid, man. He's just one of the brightest kids I've ever met. Lucky enough to have him, talk about it. He's like, hey, that's kind of interesting. I'm like, hey, you want to like run some ads for us? Like, what do you think? He came in and started doing it, started working. About November, he's like, hey, I found this course about ads. What do you think? Can we invest in that? I was like, sure. I looked at it. If we can kind of invest in something like that and kind of grow, internally and figure that out. So we invested in a course to learn how to do it. And by the end of the year, he was a top tier media buyer. Dude. And just, doing so well. And he's been, fantastic throughout. And people are like, hey, what's the secret? I'm like, you got to find yourself an Ethan. His name's Ethan.
That's interesting. How much of it do you think was the offering, and how much of it do you think was Ethan?
Oh, it's a good mix. The offering, I think, it's compelling. So when people see it, it's not like, yeah, I'll just give it a try. This looks kind of good. What we want to find are the people that see it and they get it. They go from top of funnel to purchase, right? There's no like, I'm kind of in here, right? And every business wants that. But that's the customer we find. We're finding most of our people coming top of funnel to purchase really fast because they see it, the idea executes, and if you can position that in your ads and do a good job with your copy and your creative, it'll work. It works.
So end of the year, you get to 5,000. How much did it cost you to get to that 5,000?
Oh man, that's a good question. I should have looked at that. Our customer acquisition at that point was around 30.
Okay, so you were looking at it. Had you built out the pricing at that point? Or were you still kind of?
Yeah, our pricing was, we started at $12 a month, and you could prepay for $124 or something like that. When you look at the prepaid is really the key to the success, because if you're paying $30, in Meta, if you've done any media buying, like acquiring a customer for under $20 is like really difficult at volume. And so you have to be willing to spend, you have to be willing to invest and kind of put money back in to invest in marketing and the marketing engine. That's why, if it's subscription based and it's just people are giving you $10 a month and you're not making any money on that customer for a while, months. And
especially if you're not collecting that cash, right?
Right. Absolutely. That was key for us in being able to kind of get that to that point, figure out our pricing to make the prepaid attractive and people could purchase that.
What was your customer acquisition cost assumption going into it? Did you think it'd be 30? Did you think it'd be more, less?
I had no idea.
You had no idea?
Until we tested it, until we tried it.
How long did it take you until you realized like, okay, $30 is the customer acquisition cost?
It was probably November, around Black Friday. We started to really figure out this is kind of where we're at, $30. Unfortunately, it's been going up every year. It's a constant struggle to continually figure out that whole formula.
So if in November you are like, oh, it's $30 to acquire a customer, and we know that you get to the end of the year, you have 5,000 subscribers. You spent $150,000 to get those 5,000 subscribers. Ballpark.
Yep.
When did you have the confidence that it was like, we just got to put this money in? And why did you have the confidence that like, yeah, $150,000 makes sense because this is the economic return? Like, how did you think about the economics of the business?
I think differently. So I think of the money I made today is going to be invested tomorrow. If I'm not profitable today, I'm not profitable tomorrow because I have no money. That mind frame is like, okay, we've got to really dial in this advertising and marketing so that we're profitable every day. And so we're focused on profitability every day. Some marketing, people don't look at it. They're like, hey, let's throw money in a month and let's look at that. It's like, well, let's make sure we're profitable every day. So we nailed that down and we're able to reinvest cash every day. In my mind, it wasn't like I'm putting 150 grand into this. In my mind, I'm saying I'm putting as much money as I possibly can within my KPIs to grow.
I'm just looking at it from the perspective of, let's just say everybody pays up front that $124 and it costs you $30 to get them. Mm-hmm. Approximately a 4 times return on ad spend.
Then the crazy thing, the COGS on operations, that's the biggest challenge in a business like this.
Before we even get to the COGS on operations, is that 4-to-1 ratio good? Like, did you know that it is good?
Really good. Yeah. I mean, a 4X ROAS, you're doing pretty good.
What's a typical ROAS?
We target like a 3 from a KPI standpoint for a new customer. We have a lot of people that are coming back. And so our true ROAS on a daily basis is, in the 4s and 5s, but our new customer acquisition, our new customer ROAS, we want to be about 3. That gives us good profitability and from a new customer perspective to continue going.
In the beginning, were you even looking at it like that? Were you even like, oh, it's a 4X ROAS, we should keep doing it?
I was looking at it, I was like, what's ROAS? What does that mean?
Ethan, what did you just say to me?
ROAS?
What? Oh, ROAS. Okay, return on.
I knew, I'd been to business school, but they don't talk about ROAS. They talk about customer acquisition cost, but anyway.
What's interesting is you have a tech background and this business is a subscription business. It's a very tech-like pricing model. Was that on purpose or was it just because that's kind of the business that you knew?
It made sense. I mean, we're doing things over time. And so it made sense to do it on a subscription. People pay monthly. We're operating on a monthly basis. And if they don't want them, if they want to cancel, then, they can cancel and that's fine. Very, very low cancellation, by the way.
And this was probably the part that we got wrong. I'm looking at it, 110,000 letters a month is approximately $6 million a year. And there could be other things that you're selling in association with that, but it's approximately $6 million a year. Hey, I don't know if you remember this, but when we started this podcast, we entered into a social contract. I would spend time, energy, and money producing this podcast, interviewing these individuals and giving you insights into how to build, buy, start, grow your business. And you would like, subscribe, and leave me 5-star review. Now, out of that, we both get to talk to really cool people and hear really cool insights. We both get a ton of value. But I just want to help you keep your word. So would you do me a favor? Will you go leave a 5-star review for me on Apple or Spotify? It would really help. And if you want, even share this with a friend. And so Chris and I are looking at that and we're like, well, what's the fulfillment for this? It's got to be super easy, right? You're just writing one story, you're sending it out. So this guy's they got to be making like $3 to $4 million a year.
Whew, I wish, man. Whew. When you said that, I was like, whoa, man, if I could get all the ad spend I've done in the last 5 years, I'd be doing good.
Yeah, that's probably the one piece we missed the biggest on was the customer acquisition, right? The ad spend, because that's a lot of money.
But also the way that we set it up is interesting, and we wanted to make it a rich experience, and so we are so focused on the experience and making a great experience because that's what it is. It's not a product; it's an experience. The product facilitates the experience. And so we have to sell the experience and deliver on the experience. And so we made the product rich. I'll pick out a random letter, right? So this is from our Regency. And to kind of show you what comes in it, right? This is called Adelaide Magnolia. So we sell a tin, right? So this is another product we sell. People can store their letters in there. Here's the letter. If this is all we sent, that's cool. Okay. But we've got a note, then we've got these little these old advertisements from the era. This is public domain. This is stuff that we kind of
It was an actual advertisement.
But something like this, for example, all of this, and he did all that. So it's kind of like a poster, but on this side, this is like a coloring page, right? So when you think about it, step back and look at it, and to kind of give you just running the numbers on the complexity and the way that I'll explain this. I've been in tech. I've built apps. Like I worked with software developers building out crazy requirements for apps and software. This is by far the most complicated business I've ever done.
It doesn't seem complicated. It's like, all right, I write a couple stories. And again, this is from my own primitive, caveman brain.
Right.
Let's go ChatGPT, write me some stories. Okay, cool. I'll put some art, slap some artwork on it. In doing my research, you got 24 employees.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're doing the majority of the fulfillment yourself. It's not like you're outsourcing the fulfillment to other places. Walk me through from the creative process to sending the letter out. What does the workflow look like?
So stepping back, and it's also something that I will recommend to a lot of entrepreneurs, is don't let existing technology keep you from executing your business model. And by that, I mean, you have Shopify, you have all these apps, all these, app people are trying to come in and kind of give you technology and different things to kind of, make it work. There's nothing like this in the world ever. It didn't exist. So we're inventing this model and trying to figure out how to make it work and make it rich and make it good. If you think about it, like there's a lot of different pieces that go into each letter series. Across our 6 stories, there's more than 900 pieces across
900 pieces
across the 6 stories. Yeah. So that's all the letters, the telegrams, the cards, all of those pieces. And then if you think about it this way, we let everybody sign up. We sign up people every day. Everybody starts on letter number 1. We send 900 pieces of people signing up every day, twice a month. And you have to figure out how to batch them, how to keep it straight, how to organize it. And it's complicated across 6 stories. So in our warehouse, we're managing over 900 pieces of inventory.
I'm trying to do the math in my head. So 900 divided by 6 is going to be what, 150 pieces per?
Something thereabout, yeah.
900 divided by 6. Yes, 150 pieces. There's 52 letters.
24 letters in each story.
I'm such a stupid dummy. Okay. 24 letters. Oh, I could do math. 24 letters in each story. So each letter has on average
6 pieces.
6 pieces?
Mm-hmm.
What are the pieces? Okay, like I'm just thinking,
Sure.
You have a letter.
Yeah, here we go. I'll pull up another one. So just make this one a surprise. So this one is the letter.
Okay.
And this letter is 1, 2, 3 pages front and back. Then you've got this card. It's called Lucky Sixpence. This is just part of the story, just something that was part of the story. So got a little kind of extra. The design is to have an immersive experience. So people are
I was just going to say, it makes it totally immersive.
And then you have this one. This is an embroidery pattern. And so people get this and they're like, I do embroidery. I'm going to make this. And we've had a lot of people make this and they share it on social media. It's pretty cool. So we have that. So then there's a design to make what's called a reticule. So back in the day in Regency era, you see this lady down here. She's got this little bag. So we gave them a pattern, instructions on how to make one themselves.
You're just totally enriching the story experience. It's not like, dearest Martha, I went to the Red Sox game this weekend. Actually, that's not a Red Sox. What's a Red Sox? I went to Boston Yacht. Anyways, I went to the Red Sox game and it's like included as a ticket stub from the Red Sox or like an advertisement from.
Yeah.
So it makes it feel
you're there. Like, so
it's
like
rich.
In our first story, there's a train ticket, right? It's super cool. You're like, oh, we designed this whole train ticket. It's super fun. People get like, oh, this is so cool. It's immersive and fun. Doing that just makes it that much more complicated and expensive. That from a cost structure, but that's us going all in, if that makes sense, right? And going in is like, we know the story's rich. So now our challenge is going to be, how do we get efficient enough to make sure that we continue to be profitable, but also, continue to provide a really rich experience for the people.
Because all of those pieces, if you're just listening, he's held up a bunch of different papers. They're all different sizes. They're different colors. They're different
Yep.
layouts on there. Like, it's not like, oh, hit the printer and now I've got my 6 pieces. There's a lot that really goes into it. Do you print this all on site? Is any of this done
No.
like through third-party fulfillment?
No fulfillment. We do all the fulfillment. We have always done the letter fulfillment. There's no machine that'll do this. There's machines that'll do part of it, but we have a team in-house that we stuff all the letters and get them ready.
Is that what the 24 people is for? Is all the fulfillment?
Mostly. Customer service too. I mean, you think about the, in order for this to work, the letters have to arrive in order, right? And so you have to make sure you're sending the right letter at the right time. Our team's incredible. The mail system's incredible. Like our error rates, like maybe 1%, sub 1% error returns standpoint. And you just have to dial in. You got to make it work. You got to be good at what you do.
Please tell me your customer service is manned by a bunch of theater kids and they all just like take on a persona from that period. It's like they're calling for World War II and it's like, hello, dear, how can I help you? What can I put your call through? Oh, we messed that up. I'm sorry.
Not a bad idea. No, we do. So far, we don't take calls yet. It's all through email. We do call people from time to time, but it's all through email. But yeah, we've got to, you have to get it right. A lot of people, and you also think about our customers who I think are just some of the best people on planet Earth when you interact with them. They're just like the kindest. Sometimes they make a mistake ordering. They put in the wrong address. They're like, oops, and so we have a system for that. But you also have to be willing. You're working with the Postal Service. You kind of put it out there. There's no real tracking that's there. And so if you look at our reviews, the bulk of the negative reviews are 2 things. Very few people don't like the experience or the story, like very, very few. The issues come with delivery. And then there's some people who can't see the writing. We have solutions, we're working on solutions for the writing, but like delivery is really, really important. And so we resend letters a lot. If someone missed a letter, it's like, hey, I just didn't get it. It's like, well, how do we, we can't really prove that you didn't get it because it's not tracked because it's going through the mail system. And so we just, people say, I didn't get it. We say, okay, no problem. We'll resend it. And so that's kind of factored into kind of what we do. But if you don't do that, it's like, it doesn't work. People have to get their letters in order and it has to work.
I'm just doing the math right here. If you have 110,000 letters a month going out and on average, a little over 6 unique pieces per letter, that's over 8 million unique pieces a year that you guys have to batch together and send out. That's nuts. Yeah. That is okay. I'll give it to you. I read that quote when I was doing the research and I was like, well, of course a tech guy is going to think any business is complicated next to I have software, pay a recurring fee. That's a lot of like different SKUs basically that you have to do fulfillment for.
It's a lot. Yeah. We've got a great printing partner. It's so good. It's really helped us grow and become more efficient. And really that's where it comes down to is how efficient can you be in your cost of goods? And obviously with grow, you can't do that unless you have volume. And at volume, you're able to grow because you get unit cost comes down significantly.
So where does that put your net margins at then? Chris and I were like $3 to $4 million, but if you were on a percentage basis, where would
no. So the way that I run, we put almost everything back into the business. And so we want to reinvest and invest. And so, there's been years where we've been decently profitable and then some years where we've lost. And because we want to reinvest, we're putting money back into growth. We're putting into equipment and more marketing. And so, from a net standpoint, I won't tell you the exact numbers, but, it's not in the millions in our net.
Interesting. That is one of the interesting pieces of your business I wanted to ask you about is like, you have to expand the storyline because once somebody goes through those 12 months, story's over. And
right.
You had a good, 12 months, but if there's not something else for them to buy, then obviously that's a one-time customer. I mean, it's a one-time customer, but it's over the course of 12 months. When did you realize you needed to have other stories?
Oh, like probably February of 2021.
Okay. January, you go all in and you're like, February, you're like, yeah, we probably need more stories.
We released another story the next year. We've done one story every year.
I'm assuming then that there's the story, which is Brian and Martha are from this town and he lives here and she lives, whatever. But then there's also all the artifacts that go into enriching the story and bringing it to life as well. So you've got to not only storyboard it, but then also think about what are the little pieces that we're going to send to people to get them fully immersed, right?
Yep. And that's where the genius Hanny comes to play. It's incredible what she produces and what she can do. She's just immensely talented. She's figured out a way to tell a story in this way that is truly an art form. It's a unique art form. Early on, we had people like, oh, this is kind of like a book. I'm like, this is not a book. Oh, it's a magazine. You're just sending things. Like, it is not a magazine. This is an experience. And so you're writing a story, but you're writing an experience. And so in your writing, you have to factor in the components that make that experience rich. And for her, she's like, this is a blast. I love it because I can be creative. Like, to tell a key plot point, I can send a telegram that's, 15 words that moves the story along really well. And for the user, you think about it, they pick up, they're holding a telegram. It's in their hands. It's not being described. They're reading it. There's details like a date, a stamp, where it came from. They're reading it and they're kind of putting themselves into the shoes of someone getting a telegram, stuff like that.
Do you have a team of writers? Is it just her?
No, it's just her.
Do you plan to get a team at some point? Or is it just like, no, she likes doing the stories. It's just one story a year. She can totally do the story.
My crazy mind, I modeled out a writing team. And I there's a model where we could release a story a month. At this point right now, for us, it's kind of like our baby. It's her baby, really. These stories are like babies for her, and she loves it. And she's so good at creating these stories that I worry that if we were like, hey, let's bring a team of writers in, that somehow would just maybe lose some of that magic.
It's funny. I had a whole set of AI questions I was going to ask you, but you've already answered the questions. You know what I mean? It's like, why aren't you using AI for this? You've already answered why you're not using AI for this.
We just released a story, Orchid May, where AI made up a small piece of some of the images. It's not like this whole thing is AI. It's like, oh no, that image in that component is AI, but no AI is in the writing or story. Just maybe some of the artistic components in that story. Every other one there's no AI.
I think somebody could launch a really cheap knockoff with high churn of this business using AI. But I also think I got into arguments is the wrong word, debate with my brother-in-law, who's an editor. He's a creative, genius, very creative. Yeah, amazing. And I come from the perspective of like, well, why wouldn't you use AI within the creative process? It doesn't mean that AI is writing, right? But maybe your wife's writing about the mid-18th century England and she wants to do some research. And it's like, hey, tell me about Hyde Park looked like during the mid-1800s. Or what would a story be like within that period of time? So utilizing it in that capacity, I think makes a ton of sense for AI.
I think sometimes people are being led astray. It's like almost to the point where like we trust AI to give us the perspective on a situation more than we do about the person in that situation. It's crazy.
Totally. I'll do that sometimes. I'll ask AI a question and I'm like, well, what do you think, AI?
It can be a good resource, right? At this point, in order for AI to actually work like in a business, you have to hit a certain competency in that business for it to even play a role. Because if like, all right, I'm going to code an app using Grok. It's like, okay, do you know about design? Do you know if it's good? Or are you just going to rely on Grok to tell you that it's good? Yeah. Because Grok is like, maybe it knows, maybe it doesn't. If you don't have competency, like if you don't know how to code yourself or you're not learning along the way and you're not learning, it doesn't work. So you have to have a certain competency level in order for AI to actually work. So like reading comprehension, like you have to be able to read and understand how to dissect information. Like if you're doing research and you're pulling up something, it's like, okay. But what's even more important is you've got to be willing and know that it's like, okay, that's one source. Let's start digging into more. Let's go deeper.
I actually think and talk about this a lot. AI is not yet capable of novel ideas. I'm sure it'll get there at some point, but it's not yet capable of like thinking of something totally new and inventing. And someone's probably gonna be like, actually, it can if you do it like that. But I'm just talking broadly speaking, the way that we use it, it doesn't do that. Sometimes people use it for that. What it's really good at is taking a lot of data, synthesizing it, giving us analysis, or maybe even pulling out findings that we didn't see the first time. So if you're using it for creative tasks, then at some point, and this is my brother-in-law's argument, at some point everything just looks the same because it's all the same model. It's all trained on the same stuff. And so it's just regurgitating the same crap. So you have to know how to use it in the right way. And that's effectively what you're saying.
Absolutely. You even look at in storytelling for our market, right? We'll never use AI to tell a story. Like it's just not in us, right? First, you have to disclose it. Like you can't say that you wrote it. I don't think that's dishonest.
Well, you don't have to disclose it, but
you should. For people that, are thinking about just doing this through AI, it's like the people that are going to sign up for these letters will sniff out AI a mile away. They'll know it's not. Like I see some people that have popped up and I'm like, that's AI. It's easy to see because I'm a creative. Like I'm a storyteller. Like my wife's the main storyteller, but we'll see something like that's AI. If you watch a lot of movies, right? AI is starting to kind of play factors into the CGI, and like to the trained eye, they're like, that's AI, right? Or if you look at a lot of photos, you're like, that's AI. It's easy for people with trained eyes to pick out and to sniff out. And if you're creating something that is for a particular market, and if they're not expecting something to be AI, they'll sniff it out a mile away, and I think you'll lose.
What was your revenue last year?
Good question. It was 4.5.
And the year before that?
3.2.
Okay. You're growing really fast.
This year, I'm hopeful we'll end between 8 and 10.
8 and 10 million?
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap, dude.
We'll see. We'll see if what we can pull off, because Meta's, anyway, there's a whole advertising thing that we're working through.
Well, what I think is really interesting about what you're doing is, like you said, you're reinvesting everything back into the business. And you didn't say it this way, but the way I see it is you're building a moat. You're building this like catalog, this library of stories.
Yeah.
So it's like every year we release a story, cool. But if you stopped today, let's just say you stopped writing stories today and you've got 6 stories, you could theoretically have a customer stay around for 6 years at that $140, whatever the number is, per year. So you've got a pretty sustainable, consistent, at least for 5 years, you've got like a real asset. Just think about how that compounds every year that you release a new story. I would bet this becomes very profitable. If you stopped right now, you'd be very profitable. But the compounding effect of it just gets even more profitable as time goes on. Do you think of it in those terms, or is that just
exactly?
You do?
So for entrepreneurs, it's like I can do the long game or I can do the short game and get rich and buy a Ferrari, right? There's a lot of pull for these young entrepreneurs. Like, I want to build an app all by myself. I want to sell it. I want to do this business. I want to just have all this income and be rich, right? And I want to make $1 million. And like, it's like, $1 million, dude, that's not enough. It's a lot of money, but like, you're like 25 and you're going to retire $1 million for the next 6, dude. Just do the math. Or you can build something that, you're not going to make a lot of money along the way, right? We live a very modest lifestyle, to most people, to us as well. But, we do fine. We're doing okay. But our goal and intention is our mission. And so we are so mission focused. That's the purpose behind it. But the long game is exactly what you're saying. It's building a catalog of incredible stories. That's an incredible experience that can expand. And so one story in and of itself can now expand into, we have an aim to export audiobooks, TV shows, webisodes. There's so many different things we can take these stories that people love and have there's a large audience of people who experience these stories and say, well, we're going to turn ROAS into a TV show, which we're actually talking about right now. It's those things. And so all of a sudden we have this catalog, and like all of a sudden it's like, wow, these are great stories. There's a big audience. There's opportunity that compounds across that.
Blink twice if it's Angel Studios. It's Angel Studios. I knew it. I knew you were talking to Angel Studios. No, I have no
No,
information. I'm just like,
I'm not talking directly with Angel Studios.
okay.
We have my brother's actually a producer, has a production
Oh,
company,
wait,
and in Utah here. Yeah.
in Utah. I have a brother who's a producer in Utah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Ian Pointe. He was the COO of BYU TV and just launched his own.
I know who that is.
You know my brother?
I've heard of them. Yeah.
He's much smarter than me, so don't judge him based on this interaction. I hadn't even thought about the other types of content that you can go into.
But also on top of that, product. So you look at, the opportunities that, and this is how I think, right? And this is how our we're configured as a business is and going all in. You think about other products, like we have a tin. Why don't we sell a letter opener? Duh. Why don't we sell like a magnifying glass,
Yeah.
or why don't we sell additional postcards? I mean, so many different products are stationary, and there's so many different products that we can also add that will kind of help grow the business. And so, but it's so hard because the way we're self-financed. We finance on revenue. We haven't raised a ton of money or any money, I should say that. But, it's difficult you just have to add when you can and kind of do different things when you can.
Well, I mean, the thing that's crazy about it is now you're to the point where you're generating enough cash where it just all goes back into investing. It's like the flywheel's probably going to take off. But yeah, in the beginning, you were just bootstrapped trying to figure out how to grow this thing. To me, that's the most interesting thing about this. I'm trying to pull up because I did some research on this before. I think one of the things that people don't talk enough about is the opportunity to leverage the U.S. Postal Service. It's subsidized by our tax dollars. We know that it loses money.
It's not.
It's not at all subsidized by our tax dollars?
No, it's all self-funded. So their operations are funded through customer revenue.
It loses money every single year. So how does it make up the shortfall?
I don't know. As far as I understand, they don't use taxpayer money.
I'll have to get the exact numbers. Either way, let's just compare. Why don't you ship with FedEx? Or do you ship with FedEx?
Oh, no. We use a USPS. They're the best price. Most e-com, that's their number one. I think package standpoint, USPS has been great. They do a good job. Yeah, FedEx is just too expensive.
Chris and I have talked about this a lot in like the delivery of packages. The open rate and the response rate, because we've tested this, of a package that has a little trinket in it versus just a letter is insanely higher with the little trinket. And you can buy these trinkets for like, a small amount. But effectively, that's what you're doing is you're sending them these packages. They know they have something in there. And so you're piggybacking off of the USPS in order to have distribution to individuals. That partnership has been probably pivotal for you guys' success, right?
Awesome. Yeah, they've been fantastic. And you'll notice that Doge didn't touch them.
Oh, that is interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So there was nothing. I mean, you'll see hearings, but it's because there's no taxpayer dollars going into it.
Let's see here. I'm looking right here. The USPS borrows funds from the U.S. Treasury, but there's a statutory limit of up to $15 billion that they've used to cover shortfalls. So now I'm going to have to go spend a bunch of time looking into the USPS. Insane. I thought for sure it was taxpayer funding.
Postal Service, they've been a great partner. I mean, we love the Postal Service. We love the people. When you look at it, sometimes I call it the miracle of mail. Because like right now, like a kid that's been raised on technology, they're like, yeah, an email just works, right? But then you tell them, like, hey, did you know you can put this piece of paper in this little envelope inside this box, and in a couple of days it's going to be in London? Like, what?
It's insane.
Really? How does that work? And then they're all of a sudden curious about, well, how does that work?
Well, and like every millennial in their mid-30s, every single day we've got multiple packages being delivered from Costco or Amazon or Target or wherever my wife's buying stuff. And my 3 and 5-year-old are like, every day, what? There's a package? It doesn't matter that it was like tile cleaning, solution. They're just like, oh, it's a package that we can open.
Yeah.
There's something magical about holding it in your hands. If I can make a recommendation, if I might be so bold as to make a recommendation.
Listen, I'm open. One thing I've learned in entrepreneurship and business, nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody. Including me. That's really helped me because I'm open to ideas. I'm open to suggestions, understanding how to do things differently. So
here's one. I think this would be awesome. How many total customers have you had over the last 5 years?
138,000.
138,000. Of those 138,000, how many of them would you say have small children?
Oh, most of them.
I don't know how you do it, but I think if you set up a pen pal service for kids, like a matchmaker service, you're not writing the letters, right? You're just facilitating the kids connecting with one another. And I don't know if you set up a website or if you just like go to your distribution list, but I remember as a kid having a pen pal and it was so cool. We did it in elementary school and you like got to get these letters from them. And like my grandfather used to play chess and that's how he played chess. He'd send a letter to his friends and they'd open it. And so I think you already have this great pool of people who've purchased from you that would probably be ideal candidates to have their kids sign up for this pen pal program through Flower Letters. So
that's a good idea. We have people in our community. We have a kind of a Facebook group and people meet and they become pen pals. We send out these postcards. I think I can probably find one randomly, but these postcards come, there's 12 in each story. And right here. So they get these postcards and it's blank and they can use them. And like some people meet in this group, like, hey, I'm going to write to you. It's like, okay, we love that. I mean, our mission, our 4-pronged mission is bring joy, enrich the mind, administer relief, and unite family and friends. And so, people connecting through what we do, we love it. Like we just talked to a woman on our podcast. She's fantastic. She started a book group out of our Facebook group and she's off running, kind of reading books together. I'm like, we love it. Connect, be together.
Okay. Tell me I didn't know you had a podcast. What's your podcast?
Oh, we just started it. Stories Told Through You, the Flower Letters podcast. And so we've been toying with the idea of a podcast and we get so many people that write to us, just deep, intimate stories. Like, and I can't just like share them, but they're incredible stories, like amazing people going through hard things and triumph. Like for whatever reason, they share these things with us through a letter. We said, well, what if we could invite people that are willing to come on and share their stories, whether it's interesting, inspiring, and they're just kind of normal, everyday people. They have to be well known. And so we're working on it. We've done a few episodes.
A friend of mine listens to a podcast. I can't remember what it is, but it's like stories, like anything that you can imagine. There's different stories. Like there are subreddits where people post their experiences, but it's anonymized, right? Anyways, I think that's really cool.
And then they just read them, I think. They have an AI voice read them, which is kind of interesting. There's some that are produced, like they will go out and they'll do interviews and produce them. And ours, we decided to just be conversation, like you and I are having, just to talk to people and get to know them a little bit, and people can kind of listen to the conversation. And so far, it's been pretty interesting.
Okay, Stories Told Through You. You have a YouTube channel. Sweet. I'm assuming this picture is of you and your wife. I'm gonna show this. This is pretty cool. There he is.
I'm in the same outfit. What are you doing there?
Bro, change your clothes. I can smell you through the screen. Just kidding.
That's so funny. Because I wear this hat a lot, right? Anyway.
Dude, it's a good hat. And you grew up in Boston, so of course you got to rep the Red Sox. I'm going to pause that so it doesn't just start blasting through. Oh, this is sweet.
Yeah. So social media is another thing. We just barely started. Yeah. Trying to find it out, figure it out. And these guys right here, you'll see the letters from afar. They're actually another letter service.
Where am I looking?
Totally awesome. They're designed for, if you scroll down, they're one of our first guests right there, Shawnee and Palmer. Fascinating couple. They do a letter service that's mostly for little kids, but adults love it too. We enjoy it, where their character goes to a certain place in the world and writes back about it, tells about the people, the culture. It's totally cool.
This is awesome. This is so cool. Theflowerletters.com. This one is their YouTube channel, Flower Letters, but this new series is called Stories Told Through You, which is awesome. Yep. I'm excited to check out the podcast. It's probably the best place for people to come find you, I'm assuming.
Sure. Yeah. Check out the YouTube, go to theflowerletters.com. And yeah.
This was awesome, man. Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it.
All right. Hopefully you liked that episode. And if you've made it this far, you're either really committed or you're stuck doing yard work and you can't actually skip on your phone. So while I have you, the show is growing, but I have a favor to ask of you. Will you please help me grow the show? I want to reach more people. there's a couple things that you can do. Like and subscribe is the simplest thing. Obviously, you want to get notifications for when the next episode is coming out. But if you go the next step, will you leave me a review? 5-star on Spotify or Apple. What that does is it tells the algorithm that, oh, hey, this is a high value podcast because more people are leaving reviews for it, and it then pushes it out to more people. So that's why when people are like, will you like and subscribe and put a 5-star rating? It's not just to make themselves feel better. It's actually to get more exposure for the show. So if you do that for me, I would greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you next time.